Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Child and Family Services allowed the CFS agencies to stall the Phoenix inquiry for a long time. Now the inquiry reveals that the supervisor of the social worker who didn't check on baby Phoenix for months didn't know that this social worker was a full-time student. Critical CSF notes have gone missing. The inquiry reveals widespread incompetence of the NDP-run Child and Family Service System. And of course, the Auditor General's recent report revealed that the Child and Family Service database is still not operational province-wide. I asked the Premier, why should the public believe that the 10,000 children now in the care of the NDP's appallingly run Child and Family Services system should be safe?
Mr. Speaker, the Phoenix case was a tragic case. We know that. That's exactly why we called the inquiry. Even though the many measures were put in place immediately upon the discovery of this tragedy, we didn't wait for the inquiry. The government and the agencies made definite improvements. For example, in the last 5 years, they've more than doubled the budgets. They have put in place new protocols. It is standard requirements to have reporting and notes. That is the requirement that has always been in place, and the inquiry is getting to the bottom of why those standards were not met. The reality is that we've moved on several initiatives to improve the administration and the quality of the administration in that system. The inquiry, we believe, will give us more answers and more information on how we can make even more improvements in the future.
Mr. Speaker, my member's statement yesterday addressed the NDP's astonishing disregard for the Chief's legal right to appoint board members to the Southern Authority. The Minister of Family Services ignored the Chief's 3 board appointments for year, and last week placed her Deputy Minister in charge. She justifies this action by saying that she had to step in immediately after receiving a letter from Southern Authority CEO Elsie Flett last Wednesday about the lack of a functioning board of directors. I asked the Minister, why did she ignore the Chief's recommendations for board members for the Southern Authority for so long?
My obligations in the Act are very clear. I have to put the safety and health and well-being of children first, above any other consideration. And so when I get a letter from the CEO of an authority telling me that an ongoing dispute regarding board governance is putting their ability to do that at risk, I'm going to act. I'm going to act with the authority. I'm going to act with the authority that is in the legislation that we put in place. And that's why I took the action that I did. We will continue to work with the AMC and the authority to rebuild that relationship so that they can provide the services that kids need.
Mr. Speaker, a media release by the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs says that they had asked the Premier and the Minister of Family Services on October the 1st to intervene in the authority's ongoing issues regarding governance of the Southern Authority. The Chiefs said nothing was done. The Chief's media release, quoted on the CBC website, states that had the Minister acted over 7 weeks ago to preserve the Southern Authorities Board as requested by the Assembly of Manitoba Chief, the appointment of the Deputy Minister Parr as an administrator wouldn't have been necessary. I ask the Premier, why is there such an utter lack of control and ability to manage the appointment of people to a board in a basic manner? Why is the Minister not doing her job?
Order, please. The member's time has expired.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have to say the member opposite shows an amazing lack of understanding about the CFS Authorities Act and how those appointments work. Those appointments are not made by the Minister. Those appointments are made by the AMC to the Southern Authority. What had happened, what was going on, were that those individuals were being vetted. Criminal record checks were taking place, child abuse registry checks were taking place. If he is asking why I didn't intervene to appoint people to a child welfare board who had not completed the process of making sure that they had clear child abuse and criminal record checks, I think it's very easy to explain why I wouldn't support that, Mr. Speaker.